everyone. Hope you're ready for another lesson in how to play like Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, those guys. We're going to be covering more muting. It's I think it's one of the biggest parts of this style. Percussive sounds, muting, all of that sort of thing. So, going to get right into it. We're going to start with palm muting. Not sure how much you know about it, but it's relatively straightforward. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but the sound you get from the palm muting, that kind of sound, rather than you get that sound. All that is happening, if you take your hand flat, or upright I should say, and flatten it out, you roll your hand over so it's just touching, I don't know, maybe a centimetre of the string, a little bit more, give or take, and it all depends on the sound you're going for. If you're going for a heavy mute, we don't tend to go there for bluesy stuff. You can hear the sound changing. So you can hear the note. If the note changes, you can hear it. You can hear the pitch. So that's one of the other mutes that we will go on with. You can use it for playing your rhythm. You can use it for lead. That kind of sound. If you don't want to be playing it just depends. It's a personal taste thing. So you have palm muting, rhythm, lead. There's also muting with your pick. This is something, I don't do it a lot, but it's just another technique. If I'm doing something maybe to create a little bit of tension, or like this, if I'm playing, so I'm stopping with the pick. Okay, so just resting the pick back on the string to give it that sort of staccato feel. There's a reggae kind of thing. I think of reggae as that kind of thing. What I'm doing, I'm actually muting with both hands. I'm using a little bit of the release hand of, my left hand is releasing a little bit. So instead of holding the chord, you can play just that way. I'm not sure if it's easy to see, but I'm pinching the chord for the upstrokes. The other thing, it's another form of palm muting, and it's a bit tricky. I find this one more difficult than some of the other mutes. We are basically hitting the flesh of our hand on the strings at the same time as the pick going across the strings. So you can practice without your left hand. It's a good idea, because if you're resting your left hand, you can't tell if you're doing the right hand properly. So without left hand, I'm getting a little bit of extra string vibration, I think, as well, but that's the idea. So you've got a percussive sound. It adds to that kind of that thing. You don't have to play reggae with it. That was just my example. So I'm using that chugga 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 kind of style. So you can hear it without my left hand on. So you can get away with some cool rhythm stuff. It can be used in lead as well a little bit. Alright, so that's muting. We've covered a lot of different styles of muting. It's quite a lot to deal with, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. All the new techniques you learn, it always takes a little while to get used to them, and then they finally feel comfortable. I'm going to talk quickly about the relative major minor thing. I'm just going to play A minor and C major. They are the relative minor and major of each other. You use the same scale. When you're playing the A minor, the scale starts here. When you're playing the C major, the root note is here. When you're playing the C major, the root note is here. Same scale, same notes, it's just whichever chord you're playing on, it will make the sound of the scale different. So, here we go. If I'm playing... something like that. So I keep sliding into the position 1 minor area. So whenever you come across a progression, sometimes it will work better than others. You can get away with playing the relative major or minor pentatonic riffs or licks, whatever you want to call them. I will keep going into more detail in the next lesson. And I hope you've got something out of that at least. Subscribe, like the video, let anyone else know about it if it's going to be useful for them and their playing. Until next time, keep practicing. I promise, always gets easier. Cheers.